In fact versus opinion, today we are going to discuss about number needed to treat or NNT. What is NNT and why it is so important? NNT is a part of a statistical terminology. As soon as the word statistic is uttered, it creates an intimidating feeling for the physician and patients because statistics evolve with complexity of number and also difficult to understand. When a paper is published, many of the statistical terminology are used along with the paper publication. For example, it's odd ratio, hazard ratio, absolute risk reduction, relative risk reduction, p-value, and all this makes the reported outcome complex for a general people and even for physician to understand. If I want to pick up one statistical terminology which is straightforward, easy to understand, and it is patient perspective, then I would pick up NNT, number needed to treat. So if I put a patient on a drug or a treatment for a particular disease, then the patient or a physician should accept three outcomes. One is the treatment or the drug which is given has benefited the patient, or there is no benefit, and third one is harmful. So what is NNT? If NNT is equal to 1, it means whatever the treatment or drug which is given to the patient has given the benefit which it is intended for. And scenario 2, if NNT is around 5 or less than 5, it means 5 people has to be given the treatment or the drug for at least one of them should improve. Then what happened to the other 4? The other 4 may not have improved because of the drug or treatment provided to them. This is called number needed to treat. Now, the research wise or clinically is acceptable to have NNT up to around 5. If NNT is up to 5, it shows the treatment or drug is very effective or clinically meaningful result. If NNT is around 15 or less, then it may say still the treatment is beneficial, but it is of limited consequence. If a patient is extremely sick, then the strategy can be implemented, but not for every time. Now, it is ridiculously become surprising because many of the drug or treatment, the NNTs goes from 100, 200, 400, even up to 1000. So this is what the practical difficulty lies in implementing a treatment strategy to the patient. Let us take an example so you may be able to understand it better. A couple of years ago, there is a trial called ASCOT which was published, and the trial result came to be a surprising 36% reduction in the drug which they prescribed to reduce your cholesterol, as in the group of patient it has been prescribed. It means the lipid lowering drug or the cholesterol lowering drug has 36% reduction in heart attack in the group of patients who have taken the drug when compared to the group of patients who are not on this drug. Now this is announced in the newspaper. It is a surprising finding and astonishing. So even if I have a high cholesterol, I have to jump into this drug because it almost reduced 36% of your risk of getting a heart attack. Now, when you go in detail into the study, when you look at the numbers and what actually the study says, it is rather very surprising. It shows in a group of people who have heart disease, who are taking that lipid lowering drug or the cholesterol lowering drug, have shown the risk of heart attack is reduced around 1.9%. In another group where this drug is not prescribed along with the standard regime, there is a risk of death around 3%. Now 3% minus 1.9% is 1.1%, approximately 1%. 1% is the actual reduction of risk of heart attack. Then how come the 36% came into the press, and how come everybody believed there is a 30% reduction in heart attack in this group of people who are taking this cholesterol lowering drug? Well, I mean, it has a great implication because the 36% lowering has created a big marketing strategy, and it has created a multi-million-dollar industry for this particular lipid lowering drug. Now, is it false or is it wrongly being predicted or is it a fact? The 36% risk reduction is called relative risk reduction. This is how the statistical data has been produced or has been manipulated. The data is right, 36% reduction is right, but it is how it is pursued or analyzed by the statistician and how the pharmaceutical company is projecting the number to the public. This is what it is matter. Now, if I say the 1% is also right, 36% is also right, how it is possible? Let me give a simple example for you to clearly understand the difference between 36% and 1%. Now, let's assume there was a sudden advertisement came in the newspaper and you are reading the newspaper with your friend, which says there is a 50% discount in a store which is close by. Now, you are telling your friend that you're going to rush into the store, I'm going to take 10,000 rupees and I'm going to buy something so that I'll save 5,000 rupees, which is a 50% reduction. Now, you go to the store, pick up an expensive briefcase or a bag which is around 10,000 rupees and expecting to get a 50% discount. When you go to the billing counter, they said, to your surprise, we are sorry sir, the coupon of 50% is only applicable to candies or chocolates. You go to the chocolate department store, the rack, and you pick up a chocolate and cost 10 rupees and they gave a discount of 50%. So you end up paying 5 rupees and you head home. And your friend calls up and asks, what happened? So you don't want to disappoint your friend and you said, yes, I got the 50% discount. Now this is what the statistic. Your friend thinks you got a 5,000 rupees discount, but you actually saved only 5 rupees. So both are fact. The 50,000 which he thinks is also fact if it is applicable to 10,000. And this 10 rupees coming at 5 rupees is also fact. This is a difference between absolute risk and relative risk. So everybody is giving a truth in a different perspective which is good for themselves. So NNT, number needed to treat it, it is a direct, straightforward way of interpreting the result. Now, in the same drug, when you go and ask your physician, doctor, I want to take this drug which you have shown there is a 36% reduction in heart attack. Now, how many patients do you treat for one patient to get benefit? Now, it turns out this drug which is being promoted as 36% reduction where the absolute reduction is 1%, the NNT is 1 in 100. So, if 100 people was prescribed this drug and one of them will get the benefit of prevention of heart attack. Now, this doesn't seem to be so impressive as this 36%. Now, this is a fact where the drug effect is on the individual patient. So, to get the benefit of one patient preventing a heart attack, 99 patients have to undergo the drug treatment for at least couple of years, taking the adverse effect with no benefit. Now, if this NNT, if you look at it to various other disease, it looks rather surprising because patients always believe whatever prescribed to them, it is for their benefit. If they take the drug, it is going to benefit them. It is not that case so. Many of the drugs has NNT of 100, 200 and 400. For example, some of the drug lowering, cholesterol lowering drug, the NNT is around 400. For example, if you are taking aspirin, which is used to, if you're taking aspirin to prevent a heart attack as a prevention, the NNT is around 1,800 or 1,900. And sometimes if you are taking drug, the the drug for your heart attack, which is able to dissolve your clot, the NNT is around 100. So if they inject 100 people, one would get the benefit out of the drug. So with all these things come together, I would insist it's an information that can save you, not the drug. So if you understand NNT and you find out how many people has to be treated to get the benefit, then you will understand the real benefit of the drug or the treatment which is given to you. One controversy is the patient who receive a drug, old clot bursting drug, streptokinase, has been replaced recently with a new clot bursting drug called tissue plasminogen activator. Now, this new drug seems to be better than the older drug and everyone rushed because it's in the heart attack, you don't want to choose what is best. So you want to go for the second drug, which is 40 times more expensive than the previous drug because research said this drug is better. But if you go to the NNT, you have to put 100 people on this new drug to have one people get the benefit of the drug. So it doesn't make sense for you to advance into a new drug where the benefit is very, very, very limited. This gives you an idea. NNT is very important, and if the patient can able to discuss with the physician whenever a drug is prescribed or whenever there is a procedure is indicated for the treatment, NNT will give a clear indication whether the benefit is good or it is only marginal or is very less. In fact, you would be surprised. Bypass surgery and angioplasty given to stable patient, the NNT is not even 6,000. Even if you do a bypass and angioplasty to 6,000 stable patient, you would not avoid even one heart attack or one death. So these are all the factual content. So learning about NNT would help a patient to know what treatment he is getting and what is the harm and what is the benefit clearly.